Hi everyone, it's Anna Wheaton here from Nudge Nudge Ink Ink. Today my video is about our Extraordinary Flora Bundle, which consists of the stamp set and a die, but there is also a coordinating washi tape. So this is the first time we've had such a product. We've had coordinating designer series paper before, but not washi tape, and it's pretty fabulous. The stamp, the main stamp, this one here is just one stamp, and it coordinates, this is it here, with a die. So it's going to stamp all those images, but then you can cut them out all at once. We've had this before with sentiments, but not so much with so many images. So again, it's pretty unique. This has been really popular, and the washi tape has sold out a few times. But we now have the option to click on a notify me when available on the website. So that's really handy. You'll know when it comes back in. I wouldn't be surprised if we get another version of this. So I'll show you how it goes. We won't use the stamp first of all. We're just going to go with the washi. So washi tape, if you've never used it before, is slightly translucent. It is also slightly not sticky, or slightly sticky. I'm not sure how best to say. It doesn't, it's removable. You can reposition it. So the tape roll consists of panels. So I've just cut one off, and I'm going to stick it to the paper. Now you might just have seen there I had a wrinkle in it, but I'm able to lift the tape again and place it down until it's all in place. So as you unroll it, you alternate between two color combinations. So see, there's the purpley one and then the pinky one. So there's the pinky one. Going to roll that up again. You can then add the die to the top, and you're ready to roll it through your machine. Now I'll just tell you something. When you're lining your die up, we've got these tiny little holes, and I don't know how easy it is to see that detail, but this is very helpful. These tiny holes here, particularly when they're at the end of a stalk image, they're actually to help pop your die, your paper out of your die. But you see how there's this little green stalk on here? To be super sure that you've lined it up properly, you line up your leaves, but then you also check that that stalk is showing through that little hole. And if it is, then you know you've got it right. I don't imagine you can see that on the video, but you can just trust me. And you're then going to run it through your stamp cut and emboss machine. Tape it down if you feel you need to. Away we go. So here I am cutting out, I think it's 14 different images. With the one die, and I don't even have to color them. So when I started showing this on socials, I did start by using the stamp first. So you can just stamp in black ink and color. But you've got to admit this is much quicker. And then while I'm playing, I have an ice cube tray that I can put all these pieces in so that they're sorted and they're not just one big mess that I'm trying to sort my way through. I don't think I need to do all of those while you're watching, but you get the idea. Let me show you a couple of other ideas before we put a card together. Someone suggested when they were watching me on social, some of my reels and so on, suggested that you can stamp in black, big stamp. It's always good to turn a big stamp to lie on its back and pat your stamp pad all over it. That way you know you've got coverage. Okay, so she suggested stamping in black, then getting a panel of your washi. I do not know how many panels there are on a roll. I did read someone saying that they had cut out 27 panels and they still had washi left. Okay, now she suggested that you stamp and then you line this up. And this is where it's a blessing that washi, I don't think you could do it if washi was super sticky. So I'm lining that up so that the black lines, oh, I didn't do the best job there. Hang on. Let me just, so it's just a good way to show you that you can peel it off and go again. Get it right. That's pretty good. Here's one I prepared earlier. It's a little hard to line up because the camera's right in your way. So there it is with the black ink behind it. And here it is without. So that's the same color, just as a comparison. So that just gives you a bit of an idea. The other thing that you can do is, I love this technique, is I've got the other color onto the panel here. I'm going to grab my stamp, and as always, I use it, put it aside, give this a clean. And grab my Versamark. Line that up. I'm just going to bring this closer to me so I can get above it. Peel that off. And then slide that into embossing powder. I put my embossing powder, I keep it in these flat tubs. These are decor food containers. And I just put a label on the front that says whatever color it is. And that way I can just slide my piece of cardstock in there. And then you can heat that with your heat gun. I'll put that aside. Here's one I did earlier. This one actually smudged a little bit, but I'll just show you something that's interesting and to be careful of. When you cut this out, this is almost like foil, and unlike paper, it doesn't sort of melt into the paper. It sits on top. So if you see there, I can actually scratch that away. So I did find with some of the leaves, once they're cut out, if they're very close to the edge of the paper, it's easy to just lose a bit. it's not an issue. You just have to be careful. Don't be rough with your working. Okay, so let's take our cutout leaves. I'll show you some samples with the gold a little later, and I'll just show you an idea of how to put this together. This is the Country Woods Designer Series paper. It's got all those different wood prints. So I'm going to stick this onto my card base, choosing the light side. If you like the dark side, I'll show you a sample. And then I'm going to use these foiled frames and labels ephemera pack. Now, if you haven't bought these, the interesting thing about them is wherever you have a shape, there's the gold outline, but then if you pop it out, there's actually two parts to it. There is a gold rim and then there is the shape itself. So depending on the effect that you want, you can choose either the rim or the shape. I'm going to use the rim. When you use the rim, of course, that allows us to see through the shape and see whatever is behind it. In this case, the Designer Series paper. I'm just going to use some Tombow, and I'm just adding that very lightly with some dots. Don't be too heavy-handed because it's just going to squish out the side. And attach that. So see the difference there? We're seeing the DSP, or we're having white. So I might use that one if I wanted to stamp in the middle of it, for example. Okay, then I'm going to start grabbing all my flower choices. So I like these big ones for corners, to start at the corners, and I like using some dimensionals. So we're just going to build this up. I don't know why I changed my mind then. And I might use it, both of the colours, the pinkies and the purples. The thing I love about this sort of creation is that you can just keep adding to it. That's one of the reasons why dimensionals are good too, because I've lifted this up and so I can tuck things behind it. And I can just keep adding and adding as I go. Okay, I'm just going to snip that off so I can just poke it in a little bit further. I like this one too, for up the side of a card. You can also snip it in the middle and bend it and cover that join with a flower if you want to. That'll work. Sorry, buddy. Yep, that'll work too. So you see I'm sort of poking them in, making decisions as I go. And you could do this with the stamped versions too. So this is my little tub. I haven't sorted these, but these are ones that I've stamped just with the black ink and cut them out. So I haven't used the washi, and then I've colored them myself. So if you want a different color combination, that's a good option too. I want purple one of those. Like that. So if you like flower arranging, just bringing that in a little bit so that I can see the gold. Good fun. And then these are fun too, these ones. So you can see it doesn't take long to get a nice floral image. I think I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to bring in a sentiment. So this sentiment is from one of the Arches stamp sets. I haven't got it around here perhaps. Now I've cut it, fussy cut it, but what I'm going to do, I deliberately didn't cut it apart because I just wanted to see how it looked, but now I'm going to. I want it to say happy birthday on 2 lines. Like so. And then the other thing I'm going to do is add a little bit of gold ribbon. Bunny ears. Tie them in a knot. Shorten the bunny's ears. And trim. Okay, I don't like that. I'm going to take that off because I can. Okay, and then I'm going to add these. I think the ribbon would have been better up there, and then covering part of it with the flowers. Not to worry, anywho and all that. Okay, and then I'm going to add a little bit of bling. These are actually retired. I'm just trying to use up some of my retired stash. These were a Christmas combo of colours. So I'm just going for the goldy colour. Put one down here. Okay, so there you have it. Now, you saw me add and rip off a gold bow. I'll just show you that card in a different version. This is using the Everyday Arches dies, and I just cut out 2 at the same time. So if you haven't tried that, you just put them through the machine together. Just make sure they're even and cut them out of gold foil. And so this one I have used the gold embossed washi. I tied that through and under the arch, which is actually meaning it's not sort of spreading as much as I would like to. because it's quite a stiff ribbon. Okay, some other samples. I've made quite a few using this. So here's one using the inked and coloured stamp, so no washi. And then these ones, same idea, inked and stamped and then coloured. We're using blends. And this is one of the circles from that ephemera pack. This is 3 of the circles. I think that's all I've got with the ink. Oh, that's another inked one. Using the Full of Life Designer Series paper. Then these ones use the ephemera, the washi as well, and the ephemera. And both of those use the gold embossing. And then back to ordinary washi and the ephemera. That too is the Full of Life Designer Series paper. And then these ones were an idea I had to stick the washi onto coloured cardstock. So this is the same washi, it's just stuck onto fairly bright colours, and that makes the colour show through and gives you a whole different effect. And then this was my attempt at a pineapple, but I foolishly stuck that across where the pineapple would come in to show its shape. That's inked and coloured, and then that one is the washi, a washi pineapple. So there you have it. That is the washi and how it works. It's just amazing. So if it is sold out, get yourself, that sounded very stern, put yourself on the notify me when it comes back in notification that's on the website. And if you're not an online shopper, let me know and I can have a look for you. Next up, I'll try and make one of these up that has the ink behind it. So thank you. Details are in the description if you're interested in purchasing, if you're in the in the Australian market. Otherwise, you can look for a demonstrator near you. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Bye.